It's the weirdest, but I can't stop watching her
Hold on,
until I get bored.
I want to hear about it.
I'm also watching a sex worker in Australia. Her name's Blue-Eyed Kayla Jane. She's so popular.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. I follow her too.
Blue-Eyed Kayla. Oh, I love her.
Blue-Eyed Jade or Jade.
Whatever her name is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
she's stunning.
She's not the first sex worker.
No,
that
I also
followed.
watched The Modern Working Girl.
Me too.
Oh, you watch her too?
Love her.
I love her.
She's a little trashier.
She is.
But I love her. But I do like her. I started actually following her first.
Yeah, me
and
too.
what was funny is we're talking about TikTok accounts because it's going away and we're sad about it.
Yeah.
So I will tell you this. All of those people that I follow them on Instagram now because once it goes away, I don't want to lose their content.
Yeah.
And so, and they're all complaining about it, obviously.
Yeah,
just follow me on my Instagram.
Because they make tons of money on it.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
And maybe fucking billionaire Mark Zuckerberg will do something about it.
Yeah.
I highly doubt it, but he might. He might
know.
make it where they can make money.
There's no way somebody's not going to think or hasn't already thought of something to take advantage of the fact that TikTok's going away and
Yes.
all those 178 million
Viewers.
United States viewers
Yes.
will need something.
Yes.
Someone's going to do something.
And Reels ain't it.
I don't think so.
No, you can't make money on Reels. It's great, and I do like the videos. I find
Yeah.
some hilarious shit on Reels, but
Well, I mean, I like bouncing around from one to another.
Yes.
And there's different. I use different platforms for different things.
I think what it is because I know TikTok's going away, and in the way my brain works, I'm
you're disassociating.
disassociating from it. I'm like, I don't need you anymore.
And I'm doing the opposite. I'm like, let me watch as much as possible. Well, and then a lot of the people I watch are telling me like where they're gonna go.
yes,
So I am watching it for that reason too.
And what I also didn't, and I always discount it, and I shouldn't. And Daryl has been telling me for years, YouTube is the thing.
Yeah, I know.
YouTube. But you know what I'm wondering? I wonder if they'll all go like Twitch or like they'll start streaming because like Twitch specifically, I mean that's what gamers go there and they make a crap ton of money. And I'm wondering if they'll do. I know some sex workers do go on Twitch and do stuff. So it is possible that
well,
might
I'm
be
not
where they
watching.
go.
Like I'm only watching two.
Me
and
too.
I don't even know.
It's not just her though. I mean, there are others, but like the people like the Fadon.
Hey, if you watch Fadon, you know.
I watch a lot of cooking people.
She's not a cooker though. That's the thing. She's primarily a lawyer,
And she has salads to eat.
God, I can't explain why it's intriguing to watch, but every day on her lunch hour, she goes in her office and she makes the salad from scratch. And she doesn't use lettuce. She doesn't like lettuce.
Okay.
So she uses her hands and a knife to cut them up and put them in this bowl. And then she shakes it and she eats it. It's the weirdest thing. It's the way she squeezes lemons.
Stephanie, that sounds a little kinky.
It's strange. No, it's not. There's nothing sexual about this woman.
Well, no, there's nothing sexual for you about this woman, but some people might find that like a foot fetish.
I don't know. I'll show it to you just so you know what I'm talking
Fadon.
about.
I want to know.
Yeah.
So yes, you and I are both watching.
She's rich, and people like to give her shit about that.
Like Danielle.
She's not that rich.
Oh.
But she's not Danielle rich. But
Okay.
she's wealthy. She's self-made, and
I love
she
it.
doesn't apologize for it because she get people. Oh, you were complaining about being tired. You don't have to work as much as you do. You could scale down if you weren't so greedy. And she's like, what the fuck?
You know what? Here's
She's
the
like,
thing.
I'm a family law attorney. I don't make that much money.
No, you don't. And not only that, but I came to a conclusion a while ago. I'm not shaming women anymore.
I'm not ever.
At all. I never really did, but I mean, when we
Yeah.
were younger, we were pretty judgy.
For sure.
But now I'm like, no, I've grown. I understand more now than I ever did before about the plight of women.
Absolutely.
All women. And
Yes.
so I'm like, nah, I don't, you know what? You do what you got to do in this life. I don't
Yeah.
care. You know, don't beat your kids. Other than
Thank you.
that, I don't really give a shit what you do.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah.
More power to ya.
Right. And so speaking of food, there is this one TikTok account and I haven't found them anywhere else and they don't respond to any comments. They just post their videos. It's these three, I assume they're sisters, but I can't tell, from the Philippines, and they sit out in the field and they make food. And lately they've been doing tarantulas.
Oh, good God. I've seen, I don't know if it's the exact same
And then
influencer, but I've seen these ones.
They make the food and
They don't
these
speak
giant,
either,
nope,
do they?
No.
Right.
And they have
seen
these
it.
incredibly sharp knives that they use. And it's like, I'm
And
just
they're like
watching.
machetes.
No, they're like cleavers.
Okay.
And they cut up onions and they have, I mean,
Yeah.
everything looks so delicious with
Right.
the exception to the tarantulas.
Ugh.
But they've done crickets.
Yeah.
They've done pork. They've done
And they do it
chicken.
with these giant vats of oil.
Yes, they
Yeah.
pour big oil. And
Yeah.
but their thing is this, is they have the protein. They pour some kind of white powder on it. And then water and they clean it really, really good.
Yeah.
And then they cover it in ice and they clean it out and then they start preparing it. And there's something so satisfying about that process. And they do it for everything. Every once in a while, they use live animals.
Oh, for God's sake.
So sometimes the fish will flop around.
Well, I'm okay with the fish as long as it's not a mammal.
No, they don't do mammals.
I couldn't with that.
It's fish or like frogs. They did frogs once. And people are like, those frogs are alive. So what they do.
I even struggle when they do crabs sometimes.
So and they've done shrimp and stuff. What they do though is they put them in ice and they cover it so you can't see.
Okay.
And then time lapse and they lift it and they're all like paralyzed. And then they cut them up and fry them and do all their shit.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of that part of it.
Well,
the frog thing, you don't see them end the frog's life. You just see them paralyze them, and then they kill them, and then next thing you know, they're all chopped up.
Right.
You don't. Sometimes
they don't put you through the gruesome details.
They try not to, because the whole point is for you watching them stir fry this food.
Right.
And then at the very end, they do a shot of some white thing. I assume it's water, but maybe it's some kind of alcohol.
Well, yeah.
And then they serve everybody a plate, and you watch them eat it.
Okay.
But they've been doing bugs lately, and I'm like, what are you trying to tell us?
Well, because people assume that if you live in, some third world country
it's the Philippines.
You live off of bugs, and and back in the day they probably did, but they don't anymore.
Do you know how desperate I would have to be to eat a tarantula,
Jimmy,
Stephanie?
I'd have to be
like I would eat a cricket 10 times over. I would eat a worm.
Right?
I don't know if I could do a grub. But I would do it over a spider. I can't do it, Stephanie.
I can't do anything with this.
If someone said, if you don't eat the spider, you will die, I'll be like, I'll take a risk. I'll risk it.
Same.
Maybe I'll just eat this grass.
Hey, they eat dirt pies in some parts of the country.
Hey, I made dirt pies for years as a child.
It's got some kind of nutrients in it.
I made Dad eat one, and maybe I'll do it too.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes. He ate it.
Of course he did. He's the only one who would. Mom would be like,
delicious.
I remember when we used to try to suck the honey out of flowers.
Oh God, we're so stupid. How did we live? How did we survive our childhood?
Why did we think there was honey in a flower? Because bees went there. We're like, there must be honey in it.
We're so dumb.
We were dumb. We thought bees ate honey, not made honey.
We don't know hives.
Oh my God.
Stupid fool children.
So funny.
Oh God, remember that time that Paula made burnt sugar cake?
No, well, kind of, but I don't.
We were living in not Mondon. We were living where Mom lives now.
Oh, okay.
So we were all together at that time.
Okay.
Paula, so probably second grade, maybe. So she made burnt sugar cake at school, apparently.
Oh.
It was a school, back in the day when schools had money and they would let the kids do shit. Okay, so.
Like we had home ec.
It was like probably a Thanksgiving thing. And so she made burnt sugar cake. And it was so bad. That
sounds terrible.
She brought it home and she's like, Mom, I made this burnt sugar cake. I'm assuming it was supposed to be like a caramel topping on some kind of cake.
It just went too far.
She called it burnt sugar cake. Or I don't know. I could probably Google it and find it.
The teacher was probably like, here, take your burnt sugar cake home.
So Mom's all, you know what? Your dad would love this.
Oh, she is so horrible.
She got in the car and took Paula to the shop.
Like, here.
Your daughter made this. You need to eat this. And he's like, okay. And dad will literally eat moldy bread. Like, he does not give a shit.
I know. God, ew.
So
that reminds me.
He's like, this is terrible. Like, this is awful. And Paul's like, do you like it? He's like, it's so good. Came home.
See, he does have a redeeming quality.
Well, he doesn't want to hurt small children's feelings.
Apparently.
Not always. He will, though.
Yeah, right?
He has no problem calling a child dumb at any moment.
Well, that was a nice way of saying it.
Came home, and we had Sasha and Ebony at the time, those two little dogs.
They probably wouldn't even eat it.
Gave it to Ebony, our little black dog, gave it to Ebony, and she took it, ran to the yard, and buried it. Where it stayed.
Oh my God.
We were hysterical.
So
and Paula's like, what?
Paul still can't cook.
Oh God.
Well, insane. I don't know. She can make a few things, but yeah.
I don't know. I assume. I mean, we're all, she's alive, so somehow she's made it.
Right. She lived on Taco Bell for the first 25 years of her life.
It just shows you that humans don't need much to sustain life. You can make it.
No, that is too funny. Yeah, no, I can't eat a tarantula.
No. Those like, look at this lollipop with this tiny scorpion in it. Like, what?
No, I have always wanted to go to like Thailand or something and like go to the street markets,
Our sister went. You should ask her
She
all
did.
about it.
She did. I have.
And did she eat bugs?
I don't think she ate bugs. There's a lot of other things to eat too. Like you don't have to eat bugs, but
We were watching, I think we talked about this on the show, Daryl and I, but we were watching The Chef's Table. There's a new
there's
series.
a new episode. I haven't watched it yet.
And
New season.
Yeah, new season. And now they've changed a lot since the first season. So they're
Oh.
not as, I mean, they're still beautifully produced. They spend a little more time on the backstory as to why they are who they are, and it's fine, but they're never good stories. They're always depressing.
Right.
So this one woman who is unbelievably talented, successful, all the great things, she is from Thailand, and so she goes back because her mom is still there. So she goes back, and they were going through the street markets, and the reality is that it's a different country, different standards, all the things.
Yeah.
And I told Daryl, I said, I'm not saying that I wouldn't do this, but I can tell you that if I even eat one of these things that they're hanging in the window
You'd
of
be
this open
sick.
market, I would be throwing up or have diarrhea.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's bad,
No.
but you have to be raised to eat this.
Honestly, it's
I don't think a lily white person could show up and just go, oh, give me all the things.
no.
No,
Absolutely not.
No way.
In fact, we were talking about things we watch on social media, and
Mm-hmm.
it reminded me that I've been watching this guy. He's a white guy, but he's been traveling through all different parts of India for years. And India's filthy, by the way.
Well, it's not the cleanest
it's,
place.
It's filthy. And he
Yeah.
even says that, he's like, look, and he loves the people and he loves the
Of
country.
course.
But he has almost died. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't know.
Really?
He's just like, I was so incredibly sick
Yeah.
and went to their hospital, quote
Yeah.
unquote. He's like, and they just give you like an IV of saline, and we're like, write it out. We don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, there's nothing. So you can get very, very ill.
Well, if you're just not accustomed to it,
Well,
you have to be born in it.
You're eating something in a street, that's got their sewer runs behind buildings.
I just think
stuff.
that if you are born into an environment, you can tolerate the food. If somebody from another country came here and only ate McDonald's, they'd probably
sick.
be so sick.
Yeah.
If they'd never had it
In fact,
before.
people from England and stuff come here and they're like, I can't believe Americans eat this way.
It's true.
They just
It's
they're
poison.
shocked
A
because
lot of
we
it's
eat
poison,
so much
man.
salt and sugar
It's salt
and
bombs.
carbs.
It's so true. In fact, I don't recall. We went somewhere the other day and I said, I have never experienced salty food like that. Like, it was so incredibly salty. I'm like, I can't, my mouth is like, my tongue is
Burning.
swelling.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I know, huh?
Anyway, so yeah, TikTok is leaving and we'll have to find
sad.
all of our little artists, all the people that we like.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez is engaged.
I know.
And
I love it.
I'm happy for her. Like, legitimately happy
Well,
for her.
because what's not to love about Benny Blanco, first of all?
he's obsessed with her.
He's obsessed with her, and the guy is so funny and
He
just
is funny.
unusual.
He's all the things.
He's everything.
I don't even know how they met. I don't know
well,
anything about their.
he's a producer.
I know he's in the music industry. I just wasn't
That's
sure how they met.
Yeah.
But and I adore her.
Right?
I mean, did you watch Only Murders in the Building?
No.
Oh, Stephanie.
Is it a show or a movie?
It's a show. There's 3 seasons, and she's.
Is it
it's
with
Steve Martin and
Oh
Martin
yeah,
Short.
yeah. No, I have not watched it, but I've heard it's hilarious.
Okay, so when the first season came out, I was like, I don't know, So I didn't watch it for like months and months, and then finally I'm like, all right, well, all but the last finale of the show is out because they release them weekly.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll watch it. I watched the first one and went, why have we not?
Why have I not
this?
watched this? It's
Like-
like it was like me with The Crown.
Oh, really?
You watched The Crown, and you
Oh,
kept telling me
yeah.
to watch it, and
You
I
have
was
to
like,
watch
it's
it.
English, and I'm not into
Oh my
that stuff. I
God.
don't like period pieces. I'm
You're like, you'll love this one.
and then I watched it. I was like, what the fuck?
why was I thinking
I was like,
would
why?
hate this?
Then I couldn't watch it fast enough.
No,
because I was behind.
So quickly. I know. So, Only Murders in the Building. The 3rd season just finished over the summer. I think August or September. I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember. But I guess or maybe it was the 4th season. I don't know. But there's another one coming, from what I've heard. She's great in it. She's so good. And I guess
Yeah.
she got nominated for a Golden Globe for another project she was in. And I don't know what it is, but I am curious about it. Stephanie, I don't know even one of the movies that's nominated for a Golden Globe this year. Like, I don't know any of the shows.
Oh, I didn't even look.
They came out like
I know they just came out.
a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
I think. I'm like, don't know any of it. I don't know any of these shows. I don't know any of the shows. I don't know any of these movies. Nothing. I'm like, oh, Moana 2 got nominated. I've heard of that one.
Yeah, we went and saw that, by the way.
Did you like it?
We did. Yeah, the 3 of us went and saw it. Actually, let Jerry come. That slipped out. I'm like, I let Jerry come. Well, yes, he came. So the three of us went. It was really good. It's definitely not as good as the first one. Disney's brilliant about most of the time they can make movie after movie, even on the same one, and they're fine. This one,
Sequels are very challenging.
They are, but I mean, they've had sequels that were really, the Toy Story sequels are great.
Well,
the Cars series are amazing.
That's all Pixar too. So
Yeah,
they're very good.
That's
they have
true.
good storytellers.
Well, I mean, the cinematics and all that are beautiful and gorgeous. There was a lot of really good songs. The storyline was just average.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But you know what? You can't go wrong with a Disney movie.
No, it's
honestly,
nice.
it's
a
never
nice
not.
time to spend.
Yep.
Well, and we talked about it.
My son had a pizza and the biggest popcorn they had, and Slurpees, and
wonderful,
all of it.
I will say, we've talked about it on the show, so I won't go over. But we did see Wicked, and
yes,
unbelievable.
Everybody said that.
Shocked,
except for people who didn't know it was a musical.
Oh no, yeah, I don't know how you didn't know that.
My friend was like, "Did you know it was a musical?" I'm like, yeah,
it's
like,
one of the most successful musicals on Broadway.
She didn't know the movie was a musical.
Oh yeah,
so she was disappointed.
And then the sequel, well, it's the continuation, not the sequel. The continuation is next year. It's already being filmed.
Oh, okay.
I believe they already filmed it.
Anyway. Twisters just came out on for free finally.
Daryl and I went and saw Twisters.
I know. I don't know how you got through it.
It wasn't great, but he's cute.
Yeah, but it was cute. Just so. I'm like, it's a modern version, but it's not the same story. It's just a modern. So they're all new kid.
Can I tell you how disappointed I was that there was not even one tribute to Helen Hunt or Bill Paxton in that movie?
Yeah, I couldn't even get through it. I stopped.
I was so disappointed.
Jerry's like, hey, why'd you turn that off? I'm like, 'cause it's stupid.
You mean Helen Hunt couldn't be her mother? Like,
Something.
How hard would that have been?
Right.
Nothing. And, he was really good looking, and I didn't mind looking at him.
Yeah, he's good.
But it was not at all like
no.
the original.
It was kind of like Footloose 2.
I refused to see that.
I tried to watch it, only because Julianne Hough was in it, and I'm like, all right, she's in it, I'll try to watch. I couldn't.
No.
I couldn't get through it.
I won't watch it.
I also watched Point Break too.
There's a Point Break 2?
Yes, they made.
Who's
they remade Point Break.
Oh no!
So it's not even Point Break 2.
No.
Yeah, it's Jake Gyllenhaal's in it.
I don't give a
shit. He plays. I
don't care.
It was horrible.
Well, there you go.
Am I thinking of Point Break? No, I'm thinking of Roadhouse.
I won't watch that either.
Thank you. I don't know why I do this to myself.
You're emotionally cutting?
I had to. I was like, okay, I got to see what they did to it. Like, did they slaughter it? Is anybody going to do this right? Like, is anybody going to do one remake right?
I want them to stop making remakes.
Right? And if you're going to make it, you have to make it, like, good. And none of them are. They're horrible.
You know what? Whenever Hollywood goes through these phases where, back when we were kids, it was the sequel. There was just a butt ton of sequels.
But it was an actual sequel.
Some of them were really good.
Yeah.
And some of them were awful. Ghostbusters 2 wasn't terrible. No. Stuff like that. All the Friday the 13th.
I love them all.
I love them all. So anyway, now we're doing these reboots and they're terrible.
Yeah.
Awful. And I'm like, okay, you know how many starving writers there are who are begging for someone to look at their script, and it's probably amazing. Can we just do that?
We'll make Roadhouse again.
God, why? It's not even a cash grab anymore. Nobody watched it. You lose money.
Well, they're releasing them on like Prime. Like Prime is doing them. Like the streaming services are remaking these movies and trying to get people to watch. And
okay, this is super random, and it just came to my brain, and I've been trying to tell you for well over a month.
Oh,
because even when we were recording before you took your break, I couldn't find time to tell you.
Or you kept forgetting?
The person that invented the Dorothy Hamill haircut,
yes,
the one that we all had as children,
yes,
died.
Oh no, that's awful.
I just wanted to tell you.
Okay. I'm so sad.
I have to delete it off my notes now. Thank God I could take it. It's like trying to hold my breath.
I didn't know that there was actually a creator of that haircut.
He was very popular. I'm pretty sure I even have his name. Hold on.
I know you do.
I don't. Oh, Trevor Sorby.
Okay.
He died.
God. So, we've had some significant deaths. We haven't talked about that lately. Who died recently? I'm trying to think.
So many people. Megan Fox is pregnant and promptly broke up
Jamie.
with MGK. That guy is such a fucking asshole.
I know.
I want him to just go away now. He needs to go with G-Eazy.
Thank you. Well, I liked the TikTok you posted with that girl that was talking about Megan and him and, how much she's in love with him.
Yes.
And he's such a douchebag.
when I was 4, I invented him and he became true. And I'm like, stop it, Megan. He's not worth it. He's gross and ugly.
And he's cheating on you.
Constant.
Ew. Like,
he's so insecure. He has to fuck everything that moves. He's got Megan Fox. Megan Fox.
you don't get much better than that, right?
She's unbelievable. Do you know
so
how
stunning.
bad it has to be for Brian Austin Green, who has no respect for his ex-wife, to come up and say, grow the fuck up?
Right.
Like, seriously?
Yeah.
They don't even get along that well. And he's like, knock it off.
Yeah.
And you know what makes me really sad about this whole situation is that she's pregnant with his baby. So forever she's going to have to deal with his crap.
Yeah.
Number one. And whatever horror he decides to have around his children. Number 2 is that this was a rainbow baby. She had miscarried. And they were trying. And then
you fucking asshole.
I can't with him. And I'm like, you know what?
Right.
It's okay for men to level up and be normal.
Does she have any other children?
Yeah, she has a whole family with Brian Austin Green.
I thought so, but I wasn't
2
sure.
kids, 2 or 3 kids. 2, I don't know.
I think they have 2.
Honestly, her body, I mean.
She is perfection.
She's such a great, and you know what I love about her too? She's like, I don't think I'm very attractive. I mean.
That's one of the reasons why people love her so much.
She's so not like, I'm so hot and I know it.
She's so down to earth.
And I think she's actually quite smart. And she's just a beautiful, smart girl and woman. She's a woman. And doesn't take any crap from some of those shitty directors she's had to work with.
Man.
Like Michael Bay or whatever. Anyway, I am definitely Team Megan. 100%. I don't know.
Yeah.
These guys, these douchey guys.
Well, there's nothing special about him.
Nothing.
To be honest, I'm like, look, if she loves him, great. You know, she knows him. We don't. Yeah. We only know his
I don't know, she ended that shit immediately, though. She's like, bye.
Fuck yeah. Well, when you're pregnant, you feel, yeah.
And this is not her first rodeo either.
No, it's not. But I mean, now that she's like, I'm legit going to have this baby. And I am not, this man is sticking his penis into other things. And I'm pregnant. Yeah.
It's so disgusting. Yeah. Well, I mean, it puts everything at risk.
Everything.
Not just fur.
It makes you feel so disgusting and so dirty. I mean, there's literally nothing worse.
Yeah. So by MGK, whatever your name is. Yeah. I don't even know what his real name is.
Oh, he'll move on to some other slut bag.
Some woman who doesn't know anything about anything.
Well, I don't know if you saw because nobody cares, but Sebastian Bach, he's been married to his wife for about 12 years.
This is his second marriage.
It is his second marriage. Her name is Suzanne something. Mm-hmm. She's really lovely. She has a child from another marriage that he's almost raised now, basically, because the kid's like that age. She's like 13, 14. And that's about how long they've been married. Yes. And so they must have gotten into some drunken fight.
Oh, no.
And he ended up going on social media late at night and posted this long diatribe about how he was single and ready to mingle and blah, 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 and bashed his wife and, all this shit. Well, stop. Right? So whatever it was, they just got into a nasty fight and she left that night. And so he was like, it's over, and she probably said a million things to him like, fuck you, it's over, who knows. But of course, the next day when things settle and everyone's sober again, all of a sudden she's like, what the fuck did you post on social media? Because he had tens of thousands of comments of women are like, oh, I am right here waiting for you. I'm sorry she broke your heart. She's not worth it, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, fuck, what have I done? So
did he delete it?
He did delete it, but then he posted it. He posted an I'm sorry post.
Of course, he's like, hello.
He's like, I have to apologize for the post I put last night. Me and my wife are not separated. We just got in a fight.
Oh my God.
I love her so much. I'm so obsessed with her that I'm jealous. Yeah, but he still looked like a fool because he's basically admitted that the reason why they got into a fight is because he's so possessive and so jealous that she was like, I'm over it.
That's hilarious.
Because he's constantly accusing her of cheating.
Wonder why.
Right. And so he's like, he goes, I'm to the point where I'm so jealous that when she spends time with female friends, I'm jealous.
That's not appropriate.
He's like, because anybody who's around my wife, I want to be them.
That's abusive.
It was. And we're all reading this.
Does anybody understand? Does he not understand?
I don't think he understood it, but
he needs to figure that out. With
months, 2 months go by. He doesn't post a fucking thing on social media.
Good.
Nothing.
No.
And everybody's wondering, what happened with Sebastian Bach. Then all of a sudden, they post each other at a Christmas party the other night.
Cheers.
Yes.
Oh, I hate
Except
that.
for she has that uncomfortable look on her face where she's got her hands folded in her lap, and he's like all over her, and she almost looks like she's pulling away.
So
like,
nothing
get off me.
So nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
She needs to get her ducks in a row. Is probably what she's doing.
Everybody was reading her body language in the photo and making comments about it, but then there's of course the people like, so glad to see you guys back together.
Right.
I knew you would make it. Don't let the haters hate. And I'm like, oh my god,
I cannot.
So there's been a little Sebastian Bach drama.
Sebastian.
Nobody cares about him, but I just can't help it because I follow him on Instagram, and I'm like,
you know what? I still follow all those headbangers. I follow not George Michael, Brett Michaels. I follow most of the Motley Crue. I follow.
They're a hot mess.
I don't follow Sebastian. I
can't remember why I started following him.
Well,
but,
I mean, he's funny.
But don't you love it when you find something where a celebrity posts something on social media that clearly came from the celebrity and not and you know this is going to be gone in like 2 hours. And you're so happy you got to read it because you're like, no one else is going to see this.
I'm just so
tomorrow
glad.
It's going to be gone.
That's why I'm always so glad when Brittany comes up for me immediately. Like I saw something she posted had been on for 3 minutes. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, and it was gone.
It could
probably
be deleted later.
It will be.
I love it.
And there are people out there that professionally just like screen grab shit like that.
I know,
they could be the one to have it.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to save it for a reality show. Okay. So.
Yeah, speaking of Brittany though, by the way.
What?
Well, she moved to Mexico. And
I know. Good for her, finally.
Sam Ashigari has got a new girlfriend.
Good.
And yeah.
That whole thing is such a mess. I don't think we'll ever know the truth.
I don't
But
either.
I hear people say, you guys, this is exactly why she needs a conservatorship. And I'm like, fuck off. No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
And I said this to somebody once, and it was a woman, and she goes, you guys, she da-da-da-da. And I said, do you have any history, knowledge of what people did to women in the 1800s, early 1900s, where they would put them in these asylums to quote unquote rest, and they came out like crazy people. If they got out at all, because that's what happens.
Because the longer you leave them in there, then they do get crazy,
or they're abused, or they're drunk.
Both.
I go, this
Brittany, is what happened.
This is a modern day asylum survivor. This woman was completely abused psychologically with drugs. God only knows physically or whatever else. We have no idea.
No, we don't.
But this poor woman is trying her best to just exist. And she might have brain damage. Yeah. She might legitimately have issues that will never go away because she didn't need those drugs.
Look at all of the people who went to war and came back with with PTSD that was so bad that they cannot, that they're bumbling, talking to themselves on the streets.
Yes, it's the same.
It's no different.
The only reason that Brittany isn't like that is because she has money.
Yeah, because
God.
Exactly.
Because everybody would just love to paparazzi the shit out of a homeless Britney Spears.
Oh my God, like Amanda Bynes.
You know what? Amanda has parents who are doing their level best for that girl.
They are, but I'm just saying she's a good example of somebody who is off the rails, mentally ill, and money or no, they cannot help her.
They're trying. I mean, she's a nail girl now. She does nails.
Oh, really?
Yes, and she's trying very hard. But she is also a person who I think was severely abused by the entertainment world.
She was a child, and that's never a good thing.
And we're learning so much about that world now.
God.
It's just horrifying.
So ugly.
Everybody's like, do not let your children be in entertainment.
I mean, P. Diddy is that man.
Do you think Jay-Z raped a 10-year-old?
I don't know.
I have no
I really
thoughts.
don't. I have a hard time telling anyone that they're lying or, because you just don't know.
I think that whole situation is so terrifying.
I think if Beyonce divorces him, we'll know what she thinks.
I don't know. But it's funny. Somebody goes, well, it looks like Beyonce's sister wasn't so off in the elevator, was she? I knew that fool did something. I didn't know what it was.
We all know.
He deserved whatever she was going off on.
For sure.
She's like, I'm done playing the game.
Yes.
And she just tried to beat the shit out of him.
There's nothing clean about that man.
No, he's dirty.
And the only reason why I can think I do believe that Beyonce loves him to the core. Yeah. She has to, because there's no way she would have stayed all this time.
Well, but they did break up and then get back together.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Yes. Like, there's no reason why she needs him.
No.
But
you're right.
I also don't know what's their prenup situation.
I don't know.
They've made so much money together.
They're billionaires.
Like,
we have no idea.
For all we know, they could be like the Clintons and live in different houses, and we just don't know.
We'll never know. We will never know.
And they do the public thing together for Blue Ivy, and
yeah. Do you think Taylor and Travis are going to get married?
I don't know. I
don't either.
I think now that the Eras tour is over, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So sad that it's over, Stephanie.
I know, we're all
you know why
sad.
it's over? You know why I'm sad? Because there's no chance I'll ever get to go. Not that I ever probably was going to go, but I mean...
Well, you know what? She's not a fucking fool. She will think of something else. She's not done.
I mean, she just said, see you next era. And I'm like, yes.
Right?
The music that's going to come out of her, the poetry that's coming.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
She needs a little bit of a break. I mean,
For sure. But you know
God.
what she did? She went to go visit children in hospitals. That's what
saw
she's
that.
doing.
I
She's
loved it.
visited several children's hospitals. And I'm like,
And I know.
that one girl, she said, I was sleeping, I was resting, I woke up and she was just there. And I'm like, I almost started crying.
Right? She's
Like,
an amazing human.
I love her.
She really is. She's a
Good
great,
for
great,
her.
great,
By the way,
great
they're like,
human.
oh, it's PR. I'm like,
And even
all
so,
that
somebody
stuff-
else said, like, even if it was PR, so what?
all that footage is from the mothers.
Yeah.
There's no photographer there.
No, and like,
from
by
the
the way,
families.
what kind of PR are other celebrities doing? They're not spending their time going to children's
No,
hospitals.
they're donating to president's funds.
Thank you.
They're not doing this.
Thank you.
Anyway, all right. Well, with that being said, we're going. We are taking a break.
For the holidays.
For the
Fa
holiday.
La la, fa la la la.
Holiday. Celebrate. Enjoy
Holiday.
your New Year Eve. I'm sure we'll have some stories. When we return, I will tell you all about the Raiders.
Do you
store.
live in your brother's basement? Sorry, I watched the Adam Sandler clip singing about you don't.
Oh my
know
God.
how. That was funny.
Information that would have been useful yesterday.
But it all was bullshit.
It was a fucking joke.
Yeah, that's probably the only movie I don't hate Drew Barrymore in.
Well, Daryl loves 50 First Dates. I can't get him to stop watching it. If it
I actually
comes
love that
on,
movie too.
he's on it. He's like, I love this show. And I'm like,
They
why?
have good chemistry, those two.
They do have good chemistry. I did not see the one where they went to Africa. They did a safari movie.
I didn't see that one either.
I didn't see that one. But because I think at that time they're like, okay, well, it's very clear that Adam Sandler simply takes his friends on vacation and they do a
Yeah.
movie, which is fine. I think it's great.
You know what? I didn't hate Drew until she got her own show, and I had to
Stephanie,
listen to her.
I started disliking Drew Barrymore when she crossed the picket line during the
Right.
strike. It was the writer's
But that
strike.
was when she had her own show, right?
Yes. So everybody went on strike.
Yeah.
And it was also it was a big one, and it was
Yes.
very united. And
I
then she
remember.
gets on in the house above her garage with oily hair and glasses and goes, you guys,
I shouldn't
so
have done
we're gonna go ahead. We've got to move forward. There's reasons, and so they
Like,
got
I'm broke. I
all
bought
these scabs to come and write for her show, and the writers will all bye, bitch.
Well, she's still on.
She's never recovered from it.
Yeah, well, they haven't canceled
Never.
the fucking show yet either.
Well, they brought in Valerie Bertinelli
Yeah.
to come in and kind of ease.
I saw that.
She's going to take over the show. I'm telling you right now. I 100% am telling you that they are
Good.
going to transition
Because
her
that
out.
woman has been fucked over so many times by the men in the, industry.
She has got to stop picking her own men.
Agreed.
She needs her friends to pick the men for
She
her.
just needs to be single for a hot minute.
for like 5 minutes.
Right? And
If her son has a child, maybe she'll just focus on being a grandmother and
I don't know.
just, and hey, get laid. But stop
It's
marrying.
fine.
Stop moving in with these people.
that's what I said. You don't have to marry every damn one of them.
God, just enjoy being older and
Honestly,
sexy.
I mean, she's 61. She's not old.
and she's so good looking.
She's
so
beautiful.
beautiful.
And right? And
She's
I love her
got, but
personality.
she's got to stop with the whole "Hi everyone, so I'm going through it again."
I know. We're like,
Enough.
we know.
Please, honey, listen to the women in your life going, "Stop with these guys." man."
Right? Quit it.
Really. And Eddie is not a god. Okay, he was terrible to you.
Well, she knows that, and she has said that. She said she was terrible to him.
I agree. I believe it.
She said
Well,
she's like, yeah, look, one of the reasons
they
why
were
she
20.
She said I divorced him was because I could not handle how horrible I was to him. I hated him so much.
Oh my God.
She said that I felt sorry for him because I just couldn't stop.
Oh my God, that's so.
She's
awful.
like, so I had to leave him because
Maybe
I was
she
like, you
picks
don't
these-
deserve this.
Maybe she picks guys that punish her for a reason.
Well, Tom Vitale was the one that she was most recently married to. They were married for 12 years.
Yeah.
And he was abusive. Like,
I
she
know.
she hasn't come out and said he beat her. It would not surprise me
Well,
if he did.
He told her she was fat,
but
constantly.
he was horrible to her.
Yeah, he was constantly
And he was
telling her
a
she was-
deadbeat, by the way.
Yeah, he was a total loser.
She was making shit tons of money while they were married. And I'm sure she's done quite nicely for herself. I hope she has a nest egg.
This most recent boyfriend, I didn't even.
She hasn't talked about him in a long time.
like nothing.
No. So
Well,
I think,
no, they're single. She's single now.
Oh, is she?
Oh, hell
Well,
yeah.
that didn't last.
That's what I'm saying. That she
Oh.
came out Well, it's been months now, but she came out and now she's like rail thin.
She is.
She did a selfie in the bathroom mirror and people started giving her crap about it.
Why?
Like, because she's a woman of age and God forbid.
And she looks amazing.
She has
and
a
yet
little...
Bethany Frankel can walk around in a 2-piece string bikini looking like an Ethiopian.
Sonny, I don't know what it is about Bethany Frankel. I can't stop watching her.
I watch her too.
I like her. And I don't know why. I'm not saying she's a good person, but I
she's
like
not a bad person.
I think I like that. I love that she hustles constantly.
She does.
Constantly. Like the woman never rests.
She's owning the talk right now, and I'm wondering what's going to happen to her when it goes away.
But I mean, she clearly has food issues, but I still like watching her.
Well, she must, because there's no possible way. She goes on and eats her, let's fight about my breakfast.
Yes.
And then she eats a bagel with cream cheese and caviar. I'm like, there's a spit bucket next to you.
And not only that, but that's all she'll eat. For the day.
Literally. Yeah. There's no way.
No.
And so that's the thing I hate about her.
I don't like
stop
that.
It's unhealthy.
Giada, I've been watching, I don't watch everything she does, but she brings on her daughter now.
Yeah, and she's beautiful.
Stunning woman. Stunning girl.
Gorgeous.
But she's just like, no, you guys, I totally
and
love.
so is Bethany's, by the way.
She's like, I love quinoa. It's my favorite thing. And I'm
can't.
like, whatever, Giada's daughter. Come on.
I can't. And they're Italian. For God's sakes, you're supposed to have like meat on your, like I'm not saying be obese and fat.
No. But I think when you're in the eye, like, I don't know, when you see people, like I saw, there's a show, it's called American Housewife, and I love it. And it's on it like in the middle of the night now.
Oh.
And if I have insomnia, I can watch it because they have like 4 episodes in a row. Well, there was one season where the main character's boss was Kelly Ripa. And so Kelly Ripa, who clearly has discussed, it's been discussed ad nauseum that she does not eat chewable food until like 3:00 in the afternoon, and her dessert is an almond.
Right. It's insane.
It's so unhealthy.
And she looks unhealthy.
She, in the show, because, when you're on TV, if you're really tiny, you look normal. You know, which is why I would be like, they'd be like, oh, Melissa McCarthy, how cute. Like, I could never be on television. But... I
wouldn't want to after what they put those people through.
Stephanie, seriously.
I mean, the scrutiny and that they endure, I couldn't do it.
I told Daryl the other day, I'm like, I never want to be famous.
No.
Ever.
Oh my
Never.
God.
I'll just be normal. I'll just be a normal person.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who get rich or are successful that don't have to actually be on TV.
Yeah.
And they just are behind the scenes. Yeah. They're writers or producers or
yes.
whatever,
anything. I mean, you can hear my voice. My voice is very thin. Rail thin.
So true.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
All right. Well, Happy New Year to everybody. We will be back in January.
God, it's weird. 2025.
I want to fly through the next 5 years. I just want to get to the other side of life. I just want to get to the end and just move on.
Something I was watching the other day where people were talking about their scary age. Like,
what's your scary age?
Well, mine is probably like, honestly, probably like 65.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, when I think...
And that's not even that scary to me.
I will say this. My scary age is simply because I've read about it so often now, like on Reddit and stuff, because I read a lot of these women who are over the age of 60. And they're like, what's your life like? What am I looking forward to? Like, what am I looking towards,
Yeah.
And they're like, everything's great. Your 60s are amazing because it's not old anymore, but you have to stay healthy. You can't abuse your body, etc. Sure. But they're like 70, everything falls apart. For me, and so I think 72 is about my scary age.
When I say scary age for me, like, I don't necessarily fear getting older.
I don't,
but I fear to the point.
I fear being unhealthy.
Well, I think we all fear that, but when you can't control it and there's nothing you did and it's just happening to you. But no, for me, it's like when it gets to the point to where I can no longer control my looks, like I'm not on the verge anymore. It's just done. Like,
this is just who you are.
It doesn't matter what you do. You are just going to look old.
Yeah.
And no matter what, like right now, I'm still fooling quite a lot of people.
Well, we're young.
I know we are, but I mean, even my friends who are in their 40s when they find out how old I am, they're shocked.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
a lot of that's genetics.
Yeah,
a lot of it's genetics, but
there will come a point in time where I'll no longer be able to pull that off.
I also look to our mom, and she's in her mid 70s, and she looks great.
She does.
But she's also taken care of her skin for 40 years.
And she hasn't done any of the things that I've done. She's never smoked. She doesn't drink. She doesn't smoke pot. She's never used drugs in her life. I mean, I've done it all.
And then we've laid out with baby oil.
We laid out in the sun. I mean, how she
Yeah.
had the wisdom to not do those things in her youth, you know, even just the laying out part.
I mean, she did used to drink and she did used to smoke.
No.
Pre-children. Yeah, everybody did.
Never.
Okay. Well, you can believe it. You don't have to believe me.
I believe you if you say it's true, but
I've seen her smoke.
I never have.
Yeah. She's like, I'm just, she, one time I saw her with a cigarette in her mouth and it was like post softball game back in the day.
Wow.
And I said, oh, what are you doing? And I don't, you know, whatever. And she's like, oh, I just light the cigarettes for them because I miss it. I'm like, and I believed her.
Well, believe everything she said. In her mind, she was a saint.
I believed her. I'm like, oh, mom just likes to light the cigarettes for others. What a weird thing to believe.
Well, that's good to know because I always thought she was like this walking angel that never did anything.
No, she was married to our father. God.
I know.
I will tell you this. I think I talked to you about my mom. Our mom came by to visit me a while ago. It was like a couple months ago. And she had some plastic surgery done.
Yes, but it was necessary, right? Because she couldn't see.
It's always necessary.
Right.
Her whole life's plastic surgery
Who
has been
runs into a
necessary.
sliding glass door and gets a nose job out of it? Honest to God, the woman is brilliant.
Yeah, she's had it all. She's had it all done. And she's like, well, it was medically necessary. And I'm like, was it? She goes, yeah, I got insurance to pay for it. And I'm like, what doctors are you going to?
Her and Allison go to the same clinic. I'm convinced.
So she's like, well, I had to get my lids. I had to get a bleph. I had to get the upper bleph. I'm like the housewives? She's like, yeah. And I go, why? She goes, well, according to my doctor, it was like medically necessary. Like I literally couldn't see.
How much Googling research did she do? How to get your insurance to
Not
pay for
only-
eye surgery.
Not only did she get the upper bleph, but she also, I think I told you this. So basically when I get Botox, I get it in my eyebrows.
Yeah.
And it lifts, because I have hooded, you do too.
I
we have
imagine
hooded
we both
lids.
do, yeah.
And so it basically prevents the need for surgery.
Okay.
Because it's temporary, but
Yeah.
it does, does work.
Makes it taut.
A lot of people do that because they don't want to have surgery.
Right.
And then eventually the
You have
skin
to.
you get old and you have to get it
Yeah.
done. But
Only
you can
so
prevent
much-
it for decades.
Right.
You don't have to do it. And I don't want to get it done. I don't necessarily want to get eye surgery.
Until you have to.
Until I'm holding the lid to see the TV or a book.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really want to do it. And so what they did though is, so basically Botox atrophies the muscles, so everything pulls up, right?
Yeah.
So he
It's like giving yourself rigor mortis.
surgically did it to her.
What do you mean?
So he cut the excess skin off of her lids, but he also went in through the eyebrow and surgically atrophied these muscles.
Oh.
He cut the muscle
Nice.
so that she'll never have to have hooded again. And I'm like,
Nice.
that was brilliant.
How did it look?
Well, she had clown scars.
Oh, it was
because-
still new when you saw her?
Yeah, she's like,
okay.
I haven't been seen in 3 weeks.
Of course.
And I'm like,
I should probably hang around mom more often, and it would enlighten myself. Like, oh, that's why I'm the way I am.
and I go, well, thanks for coming. She's like, I just had
You're
to.
allowed to see her.
I had to see another human.
So
I'd been
she's like,
put in my house, and I just haven't been able to see anyone.
well, I remember when she got her nose job, it was like,
oh God, she was bedridden.
it was like an undercover operation. Like
Covert.
no one could know.
No.
She didn't go out for a month.
She did not.
I think we went to the grocery store and
We
put gas
did.
in her car and all of that.
She's like,
yeah.
I must stay in the bed and heal.
No one can see me.
I need more ice packs, ladies. Like, she's so bougie. She's so bougie. And she's like, I garden. And I'm like, okay.
I garden.
I even asked her, I'm like, well, did you garden this year? She's like, well, no. I'm like, okay. So what are you doing?
She's so Martha Stewart.
hardcore.
If
Martha
only she had the
Stewart.
$1 billion to go with it.
Or the rich husband
Either.
to fund it.
Something.
Which is why Martha Stewart got what she got. But you know what? That woman, she has my full respect.
She looks so fucking good.
Martha Stewart is so badass.
How the hell does that? She's like 80
She's amazing.
and she looks 60.
Did you watch the show? Did you watch the documentary on her on Netflix?
No, but I
Stephanie.
thought it was dumb, and now I've seen
It's not
snippets
dumb.
of it, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking good. I gotta
I
watch
watched it and I was like,
In fact, I may watch that this afternoon.
I watched it and I'm like, okay, first of all, I have so much respect for her.
Yeah.
She had to fight so many men to get anything anything, including her own damn father.
Oh, I agree.
Her father was terrible.
Yeah.
Which I had no idea. She
I
talks.
didn't. Well,
at
I've
length-
heard her. Yeah.
She talks at length about her childhood and how when she told him she was getting married to a man who was Jewish, he slapped her across the face, and he goes, "No, you're not."
Oh my God.
And she's like, "If I had listened to my dad, I would have been trapped there for the rest of my life."
Right.
And she's like, "Nope, bye." And she went and married her
Yeah.
husband. And anyway,
And even he came out with his wife and like bashed her after.
oh, you know what?
'Cause he was
She does not care.
She doesn't care.
She
She's
does
like,
not
fuck you.
care.
I don't give a fuck. But yeah, he did. Like,
what
I
I-
was not abusive. She was abusive. I'm
You know
like,
what? There's a scene. Well, you'll see it. There's a lot of one-on-one interviews with her, and she's answering questions. She's not a big fan of talking about her marriage. You will see that
I know.
she's not. But she's like,
But she did address it.
But what I love is she's like, the advice. She goes, I have advice. She's like, if he cheats on you, he's trash. Get him out of here. He's a piece of shit.
Right.
Literally, she says that.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't stay with a man who cheats on you. He's a piece of shit. Get rid of him.
Right.
And I'm like, Martha,
I love it.
she's so badass.
I just don't ever want anything to happen to her.
Well, she's going to die eventually.
No,
She's old.
I know.
Wait, Dolly Parton. I think about some of these icons. I'm like, first of all,
Barbara Streisand.
Barbara.
I saw Barbara in an interview the other day, and God,
Does
I
she
love
even look
her.
like herself still?
You know, she's gotten chunky.
Oh, no, I thought she's had some work done.
She has had some work done.
But
who
she still looks
hasn't,
good?
But she's gained too much weight for her body type.
Oh.
And so she's your typical pudgy, older woman.
really?
Which, you know what? She's probably to the point where, like, I spent 60 years being skinny
She's
and not
so,
eating.
Yeah, she's starving. Oh, my God.
I'm over it.
Speaking
I
of.
am going to eat.
Speaking of.
I'm richer than God. Why not? Do it.
I don't know if this is true, but Kim Cattrall, who I stan,
We love.
my God, did she dodge a bullet not getting involved in this latest rendition of whatever that abortion
Right.
is? She lives in England now, London.
Oh.
And she's starting to pick up the accents a little bit.
Oh, how cute.
Oh my God. She's literally Elizabeth Bronstein now.
I love
Oh
her.
my God. I love her
my
so
God.
much. So she's being interviewed by somebody and they're like, well, what part of entertainment? Because she still works, obviously.
Yeah,
but
she
they're like,
does.
what part of entertainment do you
I think
hate?
she'll always work. God, she's so beautiful.
She's stunning.
Yeah.
And so she said, honestly, she's like, if I didn't have to work anymore, I would eat everything.
right.
She's like, all I eat is protein. She goes, I am constipated always.
Ugh.
She goes, I want pasta. That's how she said it. It
Aw.
was so cute. She's like, I want the bread. I want fried food, like all the things. She's like, I dream about it.
I bet she does.
She goes, I haven't had anything hearty in so long. She goes, all I eat is cottage cheese and chicken and meat."
yeah, like give
And
me
she's
some
like-
clam chowder
She's like,
and
I'm sick of it. And I'm like,
and a steak.
but to be in that world, you have to be be able to wear a size 2 or a sample
Absolutely.
size or whatever. And she's a tall woman
She
and
is.
she's gorgeous.
She's
and
so beautiful.
Anyway, when she said that, I'm like, I just think about when people go, oh, she's such a bitch to work for, blah, blah. I'm like, because they're hungry and constipated.
They're angry. Yes, I would be
Always.
too. But yeah, so that's why when I saw Barbara, I didn't even judge her.
She doesn't care.
My thought, she's married to
James Brolin.
Yes,
Who's a stunner too.
He's a gorgeous man.
He's obsessed with her.
He's obsessed with her.
Yeah.
And they live in this ranch in the middle of Paso Robles. They live out.
They live in Paso?
They do. They have a
didn't know
huge ranch out there.
I
where
love
they never
Paso.
see another human being, and nobody knows they live out there because if you don't go out there,
No, there's nothing
it's
out
kind
there.
of an unknown. Yeah, in California, like it's not.
It's a beautiful part of
It
the
is.
world.
So they have this
Love it.
ginormous ranch out there, and she's
Okay.
like, our favorite thing to do is like obviously they have a chef. She didn't.
What a surprise.
right? But they eat it with TV trays in front of the TV, and they watch their favorite shows, and that's just what they do.
That's adorable.
And talk, and she's like, and we just live our life, and it's the
love it.
best. And
That's
I'm like,
amazing.
because they were both famous for so
For
long, and they
so
were probably
long.
both starving for so long that they're like, we're 80, we're eating.
It's like, excuse me, Chef Concepcion, can we have some pasta this evening?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Oh, and don't forget the bread.
Right?
A whole loaf if you don't mind.
I mean, what
And
is the
wine.
point?
We want wine.
Lots of it. Keep it coming. So I was like,
amazing.
I don't care what she looks like. I think
I don't
she's
either.
earned it. She's definitely she's paved a path for women.
It's true. Oh my God.
We all love her.
So many. I was telling Daryl, I said, kind of a switch. I said, hey, now I love Willie Nelson. Love him so much.
God, he looks terrible.
Well, he's very elderly.
I know, he's
in
like
his
90.
He's like in his mid 90s.
Yeah,
I said,
he is.
but the man has to stop coming out with tribute albums about his death.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
He keeps doing like,
Okay, Dad.
This is like his third album. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, every album has a tribute song to himself and his life. whether it's take me on home, horse, or the last leaf has fallen, or something of that nature. I go, you realize that when all I ever hear when I think that he's come out with yet another album about his demise is I think about our father who used to take a photo of himself once a year so that he had an up-to-date portrait for his funeral.
That no one will go to.
That apparently he's having.
Who's going to come?
No one.
Who's going to plan it?
Nobody. So I'm like
Allison will. She will.
Godspeed, Allison.
She will.
Godspeed, Allison
She
Diane.
will. And Paula will probably come in tow.
By all means,
I'll help
people.
you since the
Do
other
it.
bitches won't.
You're right.
They'll do it. They'll go on out to Virginia themselves.
By all means, you go crazy.
Do you guys want any of Dad's stuff?
Is my photo album from my childhood there? I'd like that back.
No, that whore of a daughter that he has all that. Fucking hooker.
I know. Right?
I hope you listen to this bitch. I hate you.
I don't know if she does.
She's one of those stalking types that would be like, I listen, no one knows. Those are my sisters.
I don't
We're
know.
blood.
You know what's weird about that too is that you can say that and she still comes back for more. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, she's weird.
It's the weirdest thing.
Look where she came from.
That's true too.
Her mother's
All
a
right.
whore too. Anyway.
Dad will probably cut. Or Dad, Daryl will cut some of this out. But
No,
anyway.
don't. Let him hear.
Listen to our truth.
I'm tired of being censored.
I'm leaning into my darkness now.
I'm leaning into my hate.
Good.
Do it. Like my
Let it
Fidon
roll
talk. She's
through
like,
you.
let's go. She says this weird thing that she does.
hilarious.
Anyway, all right.
All right. Happy New Year.
Yeah,
And we will be back in
indeed.
January for some new shows.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be my birthday. Damn it.
Not for like in 8 years.
No, I just mean my regular birthday.
I know,
Because
I
when the new
know.
year comes, then you know what that means. Stephanie's going to be another year older.
All right. Bye.
Bye.